Hello, beautiful souls. I am so happy to be here. It's my first live, so I am learning technology. Okay, so I am Jill. I am a shamanic healer, an energy worker. I'm a manifestation mentor. That is my favorite thing to do. I have a course that I'm about to relaunch on manifestation, which we'll talk about later. I am obsessed with helping people create their dream life from the quantum. How do I do this? I use 13 modalities, and from studying these 13 modalities, I have created my own method. I got into this work through a little bit about me, my own spiritual journey and my healing journey. I've manifested many things that healed my eye when I was supposed to go blind, traveled the world, having places to stay. I've studied with the best shamans and healers and continue to in the world. And what really lights me up is helping clients create their dream life. So I've helped people get drafted to the NHL, which we're going to talk about the energetics of that story today. I've helped people manifest their dream partners. I've helped people, one guy was almost bankrupt and now he's having $200,000 weeks. I've helped somebody else scale from like $8,000 months to now $150,000 months. I've helped somebody else heal her eyes. I've helped people leave abusive partnerships and marriages and start their own businesses. And the common theme that I see where people are missing in manifestation is when they say, I know how to do manifestation. Manifestation is not something you do, it's who you be. The manifestation is a byproduct of who you be. Who you be is your frequency. It's the codes you're holding. It's your energy field. It's your thought patterns, the matrix of your mind. Oh, I've also studied neuroscience. I'm obsessed with it. And the matrix of our mind and our belief patterns, which live in our body as well, is what creates our reality. So many people are trying to hustle and do this and this and this and this strategy and this technique. And like, yes, strategy is important, but it's way less important than energy. When you become an energetic match, which is the basis of our conversation today, is when the manifestation happens as a byproduct of who you be. So I am going to share two stories to illuminate something today, and just to show you some of the 3D ways to become a match to your desires. So I want you to look at these stories. I'm part Native American, and in our culture, we teach through stories. I want you to look at not how you're similar, but how the solution into what your intention to manifest is similar. Okay. So we're going to start with one of my clients who I worked with, and she wanted to become a match to her divine partner. And we'd made a lot of progress. And then there was a point where she felt like she wasn't chosen. Okay. She felt like the dude she really liked, it was like really great in certain ways, but she didn't fully feel chosen. And okay, I said, okay, what does that even mean? And I made her tune into her body. We did this with energy work. And what came up was, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. She's pointing fingers outwards. When we point a finger outward, 3 more are pointing back. And I said, okay, great. So this is a match. This is a mirror. It's not about him. It's about you. We can't control other people, but we can control us and our energy. And when we shift our energy, people shift around us. So we looked at where she wasn't being trustworthy, where she thought he had leaky energy with other women. Okay, where are you having leaky energy with other dudes? And then she said, oh, okay, so I've been like texting some dudes and like entertaining it because I want to be chosen by this one, but he hasn't chosen me. And it's so interesting because another coach was like, you're the queen, let him chase. And like, yes, guys need to pursue. But one of the biggest things is like, it was a blind spot, is that she wasn't a match to the partnership she wanted, because she wanted to be fully chosen, but she wasn't. She had leaky energy, and then she was blaming him for having the leaky energy. And so through that, she was flirting with other dudes. If somebody was going to like fly out to see her, and although she wasn't in a monogamous relationship, I said none of these dudes matter in the sense that the energetic shift, the frequency shift has to happen in you, and then they will shift. So what she did was she cut it off with every single other person, and she became a match to the divine relationship. And we also flipped it. I said, if you were him, would you want to date you? And she said no, because she knew she was having leaky energy, flirting with other guys and entertaining other guys. But deep down, she wanted to be chosen. So she had to choose to be the version of her. She had to choose her. And then immediately when that happened, he could sense that she wasn't trustworthy. As soon as she made that shift and cut these other guys out, he chose her. And now, this is a little bit ago, they're talking about having kids and a family, and it's like so beautiful. But this is like where it's so easy to like point our finger out. Well, they're not doing this. Well, I'm trusting the universe, but it's like, where are we not a fucking match? I mean, I don't know if I can swear in here. Oops. Where are we not a match to our desires? And where are we unconsciously sabotaging our desires? I'm going to give you the example of the guy who helped get into the NHL. He had a history of self-sabotage patterns. So when we were working together, I worked with him in person, and I noticed like one of his feet was up whenever he would like sit down. It wasn't grounded. And I'm like, where do you not feel safe in your intention? I said, if you got drafted right now to the NHL, tune into your body. And his body was freaking out. He didn't feel safe. And this had to do with childhood trauma with his mother. So what did we do? We cleared the childhood trauma. We made him feel safe in his body. We cleared the areas that he was, sorry, the areas where he was sabotaging himself. About a month later, actually, I think it was like 3 weeks later, he got drafted to the NHL, then he got traded. Now they want to draft him to another team for $6 million. But like what he was creating in his reality was a match to his energy, to the frequency, to the subconscious programming. And our body is the subconscious mind. So if we don't clear that stuff, it's like you have red sand, and the red sand are the experiences, the distortions, the data blips from childhood. And so that's running the show. And so many people are like, I want to manifest this. And they're like, I'm going to think positive. And I thinking like doing the mantras, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm just using money as an example. I'm a millionaire. But deep down, they're like, oh, fuck, if I have money, that doesn't feel safe to me. So what do? They sabotage. You have to clear the red sand, the trauma, the distortion, the imprint in the body, in the energy field, and in the neural pathways. You got to prune those neural pathways. So once you do that, then you can rewire, and then you can become an energetic match. And this is a key that so many people bypass, because no matter what you say, yes, words are spells. That's why it's called spelling. Thoughts are spells. But no matter what you say, if your body doesn't believe it, it will never manifest. It's like when I healed my eye, and check on my Instagram, it's Alanna Nixon, the story in the top. But when I healed my eye, and they told me I was going to go blind, I couldn't believe, okay, I'm not going to go blind. I'm not going to go blind. My intention was that, but my body couldn't believe it. So I believed a little bit, okay, what if I don't? What if it's possible to heal this? I had seen miracles. I'd seen client miracles. I'd seen miracles in my own life, but I hadn't yet healed a physical ailment. And that was just another initiation. And then guess what I did? And that was a miracle, but I did it piece by piece by piece. I talk about this. Oh no, it's in that story a bit. And then I have another story. You can DM me if you want that. That one's on like lower down on my Instagram. It's going to be put on my podcast as well. But like we need to believe in the body. Yes, our beliefs create our reality, but our subconscious beliefs, not our conscious beliefs. So we have to access the subconscious mind. We got to clear that trauma. We can't hold higher frequencies also if we don't clear the trauma. It's like a cup. It's like, say this was like dirty, and then the dirt is like the traumas, the distortions, the imprints that were put in here. And then you pour creek water in, they start to come up, which is also why in manifestation, all the traumas start to come up because they're getting cleared. And then all of a sudden it's like clear water and it's a clear vessel. And from there, you can hold very high frequencies. And the higher frequency you can hold, the higher the emotions you can hold, the easier it is to manifest, because the more 0 points there are. I also have a video on this on my Instagram. I'll link it down. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, if you've been trying to manifest something, intending is a more strong word. I would encourage, if you're like, this is my vision, intend it instead of want it, instead of desire it, intend it. It's stronger. It gives you power in the body. And it hasn't been panning out. It's because you haven't cleared the trauma and you're not an energetic match. Everything in our exterior is a reflection. That's all it is. It's a mirror. It's a mirror of our unconscious beliefs, of our neural pathways, of how much trauma work we've done, of the state of being, the emotional state of being, the frequency that we live in most of the time. Of course, it fluctuates a bit, but there's a base frequency. My base frequency used to be shame, guilt, fear, and pain. Guess what? When it was that, I was an awful manifester. And as I started to raise it and really get the intricacies of manifesting, then I became a fucking like master manifester, because I'm a clear channel. I can intend, see the puzzle pieces of where I'm not the frequency, shift those. I use my own activations, my own quantum activations for it. And then it's like, boom, it happens. And this is why, like in my program, Decoding Manifestation, I'm about to relaunch it. So I'll link the waitlist below, because we're about to send a huge discount code. We launched the pre-sale tomorrow. And I also have a free masterclass coming up where we're going to do a quantum activation, which is my fucking gift. It's a technique I developed. It reprograms the subconscious mind, and that also works on the frequencies around the body and in the body to become an energetic match. But there's one girl who is on my podcast, and she had years. She's like, I've done all the courses, the masterminds, everything, and things just don't seem to pan out. And I feel like yours is different, but I'm just so scared. And so she ended up joining my course. She changed her whole business. It fucking exploded. She couldn't get pregnant before. She was, they told her she wouldn't be able to have babies. Guess what? She just had a baby, doing the energy work and the healing and the recalibration in my course. And it's because this is the missing key that so many of you are bypassing. And then it's like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And you're like, why can't I manifest? I'm doing all the things. I'm doing the mantras. I'm doing the journaling. I'm doing this. It's because you're not a match to it. You need to recalibrate your energy. And so you need to clear the trauma, and you need to do the quantum activations and the subconscious reprogramming in order to become a match. And then you also, the last key is you need to make the choices that are in alignment. What would that version of yourself, that future version, what choices would she make today? What mentors would she hire? What support would she have in her business? What would she put in her body? What's her morning practice? What trauma healers has she worked with? What modalities has she studied? How many hours has she spent honing her skills? And whatever it is, whether you're teaching people to invest, whether you're mentoring people, business coaching, like whatever it is, it's a life of devotion too. Like when you enter the world of the quantum, it's not like I meditated one, like somebody said to me the other day, they're like, oh yeah, like I meditated once for like 5 minutes and like, I don't know why things aren't shifting. And I'm like, okay, well, you're clearly not devoted to that craft. I do a lot of energy work a day. I do at least an hour in the morning and an hour at night. And then I work with clients on it as well. But I need to, because I'm a healer, and like the hour at night is sending energy to clients. But like, even if you don't want to devote to that, at least devote 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Because if you don't devote to your craft, then how do you expect anything to change? You can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect something to change. And the people who actually do the work, and I'm talking about the quantum work, the rewiring, the energy work, their fucking lives change. their lives changed. Go listen to my podcast. It's called Flying High on Consciousness. Like, listen to the stories, because you can't do the work and have things not change. It's like Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's one of my mentors. I'm actually going to retreat his in 2 weeks. And they used me as like the photo out of like probably hundreds of thousands of photos to advertise this specific one. It's the one I healed my eye at. But he says, like, he won't let people ask questions. And the reason is because when they ask questions, they're subconsciously like trying to find a way out of actually doing the work. And our subconscious thinks, oh, if things change, that it equals death, it's the unknown. Guess what? That's where the miracles happen. But when people ask him, he's like, are you doing the work? And they're like, no, but you don't get, no, I get it. Are you doing the work? No, and he's like, I get it. Do the work and then come back to me. And they start doing the work, and then things shift. And like, there is no way around it. You can't bypass the quantum, like, and your subconscious programming. That's what creates your reality. So you have to do the energy work, the trauma healing, and the subconscious reprogramming, and then you can literally create the life that you want. If you want to know more about this, I have a free masterclass. It's on the 13th. We're actually going to do a quantum activation in it. It's called Manifestation Codes. It's going to be about 2 hours. If you can't make it live, you'll get the replay. But if you don't sign up, the replay won't be available to anybody else. You must sign up. I'll link it below. And I want to leave you guys with this. There are so many constructs in society. There's so much subconscious reprogramming, even in the music we listen to, in the movies, like all of these things that are keeping you separate from your desired manifestation, your intended manifestation. They're making your frequency incoherent. And when your frequency is incoherent, you are incoherent. So it's like you're sending a signal to the universe, but the signal's like, instead of a laser beam, it's like it's hitting something, and then it's splayed everywhere. And that's your energy. And your energy is your most vital resource. So be conscious of what you're listening to. Like, what lyrics are you listening to? What messages in movies are you listening to? Are you listening to like, oh, people with wealth, they're bad, they're evil? Guess what? That's going to your subconscious, that's programming, and that's creating your behaviors and your reality. Oh, I have one more story. I forgot. So in that NHL example, it's one more key to that. When I was working with this gentleman, he was basically counter manifesting. And this is another thing that I see a lot. It's like, I want this desire, but I'm scared, or I think something bad is going to happen. And this is all unconscious, guys. It's not like a conscious thing. This is why when you tune into your body and you really feel into what's going on, there's messages and memories, and those are the imprints that need to be cleared. And once they're cleared, your brain just automatically rewires, but then you can also do levels of recalibration there. But like, I see this a lot where it's like, okay, I want this, but like even that other example of that woman with the relationship, it was like, okay, I want a monogamous relationship and I want to be chosen, but I want them to choose me. So I'm just going to like date around, which is totally fine. Like if you want to date around, that's just a different frequency. If you want to like date around and have fun, then that's fine. You can like see lots of guys and that's perfect if that's what you desire. But in this case, she wanted a monogamous relationship. And so she was compromising the energetic container by having all of these backup options. And it was like the laser beam was like going, okay, this is what I want, but it was hitting a wall, like a book. And then it's like, the energy is like splayed out. And the book is basically like blocking the manifestation, because the book was the belief that if I actually close out all these loops, what if somebody else was supposed to be my partner? And I said, if somebody else was supposed to be your partner and you still want that divine partnership, it doesn't the other people are irrelevant. It's like you are the only one that you can control. So you become the match to that. And then maybe this other person wasn't the one and somebody else was, they will come back into your life once you are the match. But if you have them right now and they're all laid out and your energy is kind of going to both, or many, it was like, there was many backup options, then you're still not a match for that divine relationship, even if it's supposed to be with Bob and she was seeing Tim. These are code names. You know, so if it was Bob, but she cuts Bob off and all of a sudden she's a match to one monogamous person, and she tries that with Tim and then that doesn't work out, Tim's gonna fall out. He's either gonna rise to that or he's gonna fall out, because everything's a mirror. So then Bob will come back, or whoever is supposed to be or meant to be, that will come back, because everything's a match. Everything's an energetic match. It's a frequency. When we're on the same frequency, we attract the equivalent of that in business and relationships and friendships and everything. So, by the way, frequency, if you hear people talking about coding, the frequency is the code. It's the pattern in the field. Maybe I'll do another live on that, of what that means. It's the pattern. That is the frequency, and frequency carries information. And that information comes, if our vessel's clear and we've cleared trauma, it comes into our body and we get guided to the place that, or the manifestation comes to us. It's like, I'll give you an example to illuminate this. When I first started this work, one of my private clients, and I've met my clients in the most random ways, always, like in the ocean, like just weird places. But I was like, I'm going to go to Shoppers Drug Mart. And those of you from the US, that's like your CVS. I didn't know why. I was like, I'm going to go to Shoppers Drug Mart. I just felt the impulse, and I just trust these now, because my pineal gland was intending me to go there. And I just done some subconscious reprogramming and like declared and did an activation on the exact clients I wanted. And I had released 2 other clients that were not in alignment, and I got very clear. And I worked through some abundance blocks, and I kid you not, I'm looking into the place where they have food, and I was hoping they had organic food. They didn't have organic food, but I was just like hoping it would like appear or something. And I'm like looking into this thing, and some gentleman comes up and he's like, yeah, sometimes I look in there too. And like, it's like an aquarium. And I was like, what is this? Randomly started talking about crystals. And then he's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I do like shamanic healing. I help people manifest like their dream lives. And I was kind of shy because I hadn't really like talked to most people about what I did. It was like kind of under the radar for a long time. And he's like, oh, really? And then he's like, are you looking for clients? I think I might have said I do Reiki first. And then we started talking, and that's what happened. And then I told him I also do shamanic healing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I guess if like, I'm like, yeah, like if you're interested or if you know anybody. And he was like, oh, me. So he gave me his card, and then he signed up for a group program or a group ceremony, didn't show up, paid, didn't show up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to refund this guy. And then he was like, no, just keep it. I want to do private. My family and I were not really into like group things. And he's like, can you come to my house? And I was like, sure. Or his apartment. And he lived like down the block in this freaking like penthouse of a nice hotel. And I was like, what did I just walk into? And I told him my price, which was like the one I declared. And he became one of like my most amazing. I mean, all my private clients are fucking amazing, but yeah. And it was actually his son that we got into the NHL, who I worked with after. But like, that is like, the information came to me, the code came to me because I was on the frequency. I didn't know going to Shoppers Drug Mart was going to lead me to him. When I first started my Reiki business years ago, one of my first clients I met on the seawall walking in Vancouver, and he like randomly stopped me. And then, actually I was on the seawall, and I went to a restaurant I used to work at, and I was picking up my T4, and he randomly just started talking to me and was like, oh, what do you do? And then I was like, oh, I do Reiki. And then anyways, he became a client, and he sent 10 other people. Like I didn't have anything online about what I did back then. So like when we work from the quantum, we literally become the magnet, and the things find us and we find them. It's like same frequency, and goes for partnership, money, business, all the things, opportunities. But we gotta do that inner work of clearing the trauma, the quantum recalibration, and the neural pathway recalibration. There is no bypassing that. And that is, you had been struggling with manifestation of anything and it hasn't happened, any place you're stopped in your life, it's because you have trauma there. Otherwise, it's like expanding, 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 always. That is what our auric field does. That's what we're built for. Naturally, it's just all these distortions that hold us back. So I invite you, if you want to know more about this, and if you want to actually receive an activation, please come to my Manifestation Codes Masterclass on September 13th. I'm going to link it below. It is going to be very, very powerful. So you can start to feel what like actually working from the quantum is like. The activations are my gift. Shamanic breathwork and the activations are my gift. This is how I help clients manifest. I have many, many tools. These are the two main ones I use. And expect miracles, because like even when we do like one powerful activation in a group vortex, like freaking miracles. And when you continue to do them, or you have other ones, like your life changes. I've worked with people. I had a private client who I stopped working with in March or April. And she's like, I'm still having so many manifestations, because she's holding the codes. And sometimes they take a while to integrate and sometimes they don't. But that is the key. Like my goal is to give as many people this understanding, shorten the timeline that took me years to learn, and use my gifts to actually not just teach, but facilitate as many people as I can, so that they can go on and live their freaking dream life. Because the more people we have living their dream life, the better the world we live in. And there is no shortage in the new earth. Abundance, there is more than enough. And there's only co-creation and collaboration. There's no competition in abundance. If we're living the life of abundance and joy and peace, there is no competition. There's only co-creation. And that's the world and the vision I'm holding. And that's what I'm committed to doing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here for my first Facebook Live in this group. And bearing with me while I learn to use technology. I'll link that free masterclass below. And also I'll link the early bird or the wait list to Decoding Manifestation, because we're about to launch Early Bird. That is my signature program. So many miracles happen in that program. Check out my Instagram or at Alanna Nixon, or my podcast, Flying High on Consciousness, to hear some of those stories. So it's not just me telling you, but it's actually them. Because that's possible for you. What's possible for one is truly possible for all. It's like the 4-minute mile. As soon as somebody ran, that was impossible. But as soon as somebody ran it, a bunch of other people started doing it. It's like a girl, Carrie, who's in Decoding Manifestation. Oh, by the way, it's lifetime access for every single time I launch it and add to it. Which is super cool, because nobody does that. But I do, because I'm so committed to you guys having these tools forever. So yeah, she found me because she was going blind, and because of my story and what I could offer her and guide her through and facilitate, she healed her eyes. And now she's like a freaking master manifester. It's so beautiful. So this is possible for you. I love you guys so much. And I'm going to hop off now. Oh, Whitney. Oh my God, I love you. And I'm going to hop off now. Oh, Whitney. Oh my God, I love you. And I'm going to hop off now. Oh, Whitney. Oh my God, I love you. And I'm going to